Welcome to Why I Knit. My name is Rachel and I'm your host. It is Sunday, November 8th, 2015, and this is episode number 40. All the show notes can be found at whyknit.com. Find me on Ravelry as Yarn Talk, Twitter and Instagram as Why I Knit. Don't forget we have a Ravelry group, a Facebook group, and we are now on iTunes as well. If you are a new viewer, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Hi everyone. I hope you've had the good past couple of months because I haven't had like a lot of episodes and such. But if you saw my announcement last week, then you know what's gonna go on, and I will talk about that a little bit more um, once I get to the show news. So let us start with what I usually start with, which is on the needles. And I only have one thing to show you this week. And honestly, this is the only thing I've been sort of even working on since I got back from New Orleans / New York. Dinosaur Jr. It's made a little bit of progress since I got back. Honestly, I've been so busy with other things that I haven't had a chance to even really work on it as much as I wanted to. Although that's probably going to change this week, which is a good thing. Um, because I really need to get a move on. The cow is over for the dinosaur. So for those who participate, I'm going to keep the threads open until Friday. Just so that if anyone is interested in putting anything in there, they can. Um, but I of course didn't make it, but that's okay. I do have the stuffing. I bought that last week when we got back. Um, well, actually, a couple weeks ago now, I should say, since we've been back for just about a month now, I believe. I know, crazy, but. So yeah, really, my big goal is to try to get this to the second part where you stuff. Um, as part of the trip, I did work on it a little bit on the trip, but not as much as I really wanted to. Uh, but yeah, that is really the only thing I've been working on for the past 2 months or so. Table Runner needs to be finished soon. I don't think I'm gonna get that done though until at least January at this point. Um, which I think my mom's okay with because she knows that I'm working on this for my dad's friend's granddaughter. Um, so that's gonna be done uh, hopefully by the end of the month. So I can mail it to, well, I can wash it and mail it to Carl, my dad's friend, up in Connecticut. And then when he sees his son, which I assume will be like at Christmas time, maybe, um, he will bring it down, or they'll come up. I don't know what the plan is, but I really hope the dad and mom like it. I know they're probably not gonna give it to their daughter right away, which is understandable. But I am gonna instead of using pattern calls for like googly eye, not googly eyes, but like buttons for eyes. I'm not gonna use buttons for safety reasons, but I am gonna I have some extra yarn that in this comfy that I haven't used, so I'm just gonna use that um as the eyes, sew them on. So Well, as I said, hopefully they like it though. But as I said, Table Runner really needs to get going again. Um, if I can get that done by Christmas, I will consider that a win. And there's been no movement on anything else because it's my knitting has kind of hit a bit of a standstill again. It usually does this like in the summer and like really around this time of year. Um, but I think I'm like really just really ready to get started again on it, which is good. And for yeah, so and that's part of the reason why I'm going to every other week. Um, there are a couple other reasons that I will talk about in a little bit. But yeah, so that is on the needles for this week. Next up is I have links to 2 articles. And I'm gonna call this section "Knitting in the News." Um, one of them has already the date has already passed. The other, at least here in the U.S., is coming up. I don't know if it's the same date overseas, but it's the same holiday, so basically. But one was about a college student, I believe from Northeastern in Massachusetts, the Boston area, finger knitted her way through New York City Marathon, which was last Sunday. I just thought that was really interesting. I believe it was for a charity she used to work for. But as I said, I have a link to in the show notes. I believe the only. Hold on, I'm just double checking something. Yeah, the only thing is that the article is from the Boston Globe, and they might want you like put up an ad for their paywall. As long as you haven't used up like your free articles on the Boston Globe, you should be okay. Yeah, but yeah, it's a former organization she used to work for, but she goes to Northeastern. She's a senior. Um, and the money was actually raised for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So, for cancer research. So, yeah. I figured that people would want to read about that. And the other one is actually an overseas article. Well, I should say overseas for me. Might not be overseas for you if you live in Europe, but I'm double checking. But there's a woman from Cove, England, I guess, who knitted for this past year 1,000 poppies to sell for the Royal British Legion. And let's see what else. The woman's 68 years old. And let's see what else. And it's for basically she raised. She knitted these poppies in honor of Remembrance Day, which I believe is the British version of what we call Veterans Day. At least for us, Veterans Day is November 11th. So I'm just gonna do a quick Google search. I believe that's Thursday this year. I'm sorry, it's a Wednesday, Veterans Day. And I believe Remembrance Day is the same thing, just called Remembrance. Day, but it's also called Poppy Day. Um, okay, yes, and that is also November 11th. So November 11th is Veterans Day slash Veterans Day, Remembrance Day slash Veterans Day here in the U.S. Uh, so I thought that was really interesting, and I think poppies, um, for at least in Britain, are like an important factor um, into for war veterans. So let me see if there's a reason why. But it's not like the actual flower, which the poppy seeds um, are known for producing a. Well, I'll leave it at that. Okay. Oh, okay. This says this is according to Wikipedia, and I will have a link to this in that section too. But it says the Remembrance Poppy has been used since 1921 to commemorate military personnel who have died in war. Inspired by the World War I poem In Flanders Fields and promoted by Mona Mitchell. Oh, so Mona Michael, I should say. They were first adopted by the American Legion to commemorate American soldiers killed in that war, 1914-1918. So, from what it sounds like, it's actually an American thing, and it's for some whatever reason. I don't even really think that um that trying to think of the right word. Honestly, I don't remember giving poppies to like war veterans. Basically, um, I think poppies are not a popular flower in the U.S. other than for what am not gonna say. Um, but That's really interesting though that it's that the poppy like basically it's really more of a U.S. thing than a Europe thing. But I don't really even remember it as I said. But yeah, I will have a link to the Wikipedia page um on the um show notes. Oh, also Veterans Day, Remembrance Day. It's also known as Armistice Day, which is observed in New Zealand, France, Belgium, and Serbia. And this it's the same thing. Basically, it's basically the downfall of Germany in World War I. Um, we call it Veterans Day. England calls it Remembrance Day. Australia and New Zealand has their own version, but I think theirs is in their winter or spring. I think theirs is actually like very close to our Memorial Day, um, which, as you know, is very similar to Veterans Day. But yeah, um, that's gonna be this Wednesday, November 11th. But I just thought that those articles were quite important, and you should check them out. Alright, the spin zone. Because I haven't talked about that in a while. I have a love-hate relationship with spinning. And I really need to get moving on that again. Unfortunately, I think I lost my spindle and the fiber I was working on. But thankfully the spindle wasn't that expensive. Um, I mean, I know where it is, but honestly, I don't feel like going through everything at the moment to get one. So I think I'm gonna order a new spindle, and more fiber this week, and hopefully by the next time I do an episode, I will have some fiber to show you. But yeah, let's see, what else do I have this week? It's kind of gonna be a weird week because I'm trying to extend it as long as possible. Let's see. Oh, show news. Episodes are continuing to be uploaded to the podcast host. I kind of been slacking a little bit on it, unfortunately. But this is another reason why I'm going to the every other week system, is so that I can catch up, and that hopefully by the end of November, I will be having episodes, current episodes up 2 days after they're published onto YouTube. So look for that. Look for about, I'm gonna say about 6 or 7 episodes being put up this upcoming week. 6 or 7 put up next week, which will be the off week. And then so basically it'll be, I'm sorry, there'll be 6 or 7 episodes put up this week, which is the off week, after I put up this episode. So next Sunday there won't be an episode. The following Sunday there will be an episode. There'll be more episodes put up that week, and so on. But yeah. So basically there'll be episodes probably put up onto iTunes, I should say, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If I can get like 1 or 2 up on Friday, I will be very happy. And by the time you see the next episode, there'll be probably about 10 episodes up. So currently, let me just check currently I'm up to episode 26 on my podcast host. My goal is, by the time the next episode goes up, in not next Sunday, but the following Sunday, I will be up to 37. Or I'm sorry, 36. If I can get up to 36, then that week I will put up 37, 38, 39, 40, and then 2 days after I put up 40, I'll put up 41, and then I will be all caught up. So hopefully that will happen. I don't know if it will, though. So stay tuned for that. Happy anniversary! Because technically next week is the 1-year anniversary of the podcast. Whoop! I want to thank everyone for hanging with me for this past year. I hoped everyone also enjoyed last week's, I shouldn't say last week's, last time, episode 39 episode, which was my vlog of Rhinebeck. I definitely had a great time. As I said, my mom had a great time. My sister, not really sure. But I think she would be willing to go back. But yeah. And as I said, don't forget, starting now, episodes are going to be up every other week. And I will talk about an exception that I will have to the schedule next week. So not next week, the next episode, which will be in not, as I said, not this upcoming Sunday, but the following Sunday. Because I do have one more trip scheduled for the year. It's a cruise. but I will talk about that more next week. And last but not least, I have some life news to talk about. Just been really busy with other things. Honestly, since we got back, I went to the Container Store a couple weeks ago. I, of course, did episode 39. I am so behind on my blog, which I have also listed. And I'm going to actually move that up because I actually talked about that first before the other thing I'm going to talk about. Let's see what else. I think that's it. It's been a crazy couple weeks around here. Because we've had work done on the house. Although this week the workers didn't come because we didn't have anything for them to do. So yeah, it's been very crazy, and just glad to get things accomplished though. Blog really needs to be updated, as I said. Bad Rachel, but the good positive thing that happened this week is that basically a month after we went down there, the house that my grandma had is finally on the market. So yeah, very happy about that. So hopefully, maybe Bravo ends up buying it. I doubt it, but we're very excited. Hopefully it sells quickly, although it's a bit of a larger house, even though it's a ranch. But yeah, we met the real estate agent. That went very well. Yeah, I'll have everything, it's up on my regular blog, The Basketball Knitter. But yeah. So that is it for this week. And hopefully next time I will have a lot more knitting to show you. So I'll see you in a couple weeks. Talk to you later. Bye.